As the year draws to a close, there is a sacred pause that only the chosen ones truly recognize. It is the quiet space between what was survived and what is about to be revealed. This is not merely the end of a calendar year, it is the closing of a spiritual chapter. For the powerful chosen one, reflection is not about regret, it is about alignment. You have walked through trials that refined you, delays that protected you, and silences that taught you discernment. Now is the moment to stand before God not as someone begging for survival, but as someone ready for stewardship. Prayer, at this stage of your journey, is not small talk with heaven. It is a strategic conversation with destiny. Many people pray out of fear. Chosen ones pray out of awareness. You understand that what you request determines what you are trusted with. Before the year ends, heaven listens differently, not because God changes, but because you have. Your discernment is sharper, your spirit is quieter, and your intentions are cleaner. These 9 prayer requests are not ordinary petitions. They are the kinds of prayers that reshape timelines, close karmic loops, and prepare you for doors you cannot yet see. Speak them with humility, but also with authority, because you are not asking as a stranger. You are asking as one who has been prepared. 1. Pray for divine clarity, not comfort. Before the year ends, ask God to remove confusion, even if clarity costs you comfort. Many chosen ones unknowingly delay their destiny because their prayers are shaped by fear rather than truth. They ask God to make things easier, smoother, and less painful, not realizing that comfort can quietly become a cage. But clarity is the language of leadership. It is the sharp edge that cuts through emotional fog, social expectations, and self-deception. When you pray for clarity, you are asking God to reveal what no longer aligns with your spirit, who no longer belongs in your next chapter, and which paths are distractions disguised as opportunities. This kind of prayer is courageous because it invites exposure. It may initially feel unsettling, even disruptive, because clarity dismantles illusions you once relied on for emotional security. Yet it is precisely through this dismantling that inner power is restored. When God grants clarity, indecision dissolves at its root. You stop overthinking every move. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop forcing outcomes that were never assigned to you. Instead, you begin moving with certainty rather than anxiety, conviction rather than pressure. Clarity gives you the confidence to say no without guilt and yes without fear. It simplifies life by aligning your actions with your purpose. This prayer sets the foundation for every other request, because without clarity, even blessings can become burdens. Opportunities without clarity create exhaustion. Relationships without clarity create confusion. Success without clarity creates emptiness. When clarity comes first, everything else finds its proper place. 2. Pray for emotional detachment from what God is removing. Chosen ones often struggle not because they lack faith, but because they hold on too long. They sense the shift, feel the withdrawal, and notice the misalignment, yet they cling out of habit, loyalty, or fear of loss. Before the year ends, ask God for emotional release from people, habits, and expectations He is already withdrawing from your life. This is not a prayer for coldness or indifference. It is a prayer for obedience. Emotional detachment is not the absence of love, it is the presence of wisdom. It allows divine replacement to occur. When you stop clinging, you stop blocking what is trying to enter. Many delays happen not because God is withholding, but because your hands are already full. Ask God to heal the parts of you that equate letting go with failure, abandonment, or rejection. What is leaving now is not punishment, it is preparation. God often removes what once served you because it can no longer sustain the person you are becoming. This prayer loosens emotional knots that drain your energy and cloud your judgment. It frees your focus from nostalgia and regret. It restores your ability to move forward without constantly looking back. Emotional detachment does not erase memories, it removes their control. It allows you to honor what was without living there. When God answers this prayer, you may notice a quiet fading rather than a dramatic ending. Conversations shorten, attachments weaken, desires shift. This is not loss, it is alignment. And in that alignment, you gain peace, clarity, and readiness for what cannot coexist with attachment to the past. 3. Pray for discipline equal to your calling. Many people ask God for purpose, but resist the discipline required to sustain it. They want the outcome without the order, the assignment without the structure, the reward without the routine. Before the year ends, pray for the strength to become consistent where you have been casual. Discipline is not punishment. It is devotion expressed through daily action. It is self-respect in motion. Ask God to align your daily habits with your future assignment, because what you do repeatedly reveals what you truly value. The chosen life demands structure, boundaries, and mastery over impulses. Without discipline, talent leaks, vision stalls, potential remains theoretical. This prayer invites transformation at the behavioral level. It reshapes how you manage your time, energy, focus, and commitments. Discipline teaches you to show up when motivation is absent, and to continue when applause is silent. It trains you to honor your calling even when no one is watching. This prayer transforms talent into authority. Authority is not granted, it is earned through consistency. When discipline meets divine favor, doors open that talent alone could never unlock. Favor may open the door, but discipline determines whether you stay in the room. Ask not just for opportunity, but for the character to keep it. Ask for the courage to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. Ask for the resolve to say no to distractions that feel good, but lead nowhere. Discipline does not limit you. It liberates you by making your progress predictable. When God strengthens your discipline, He is preparing you to carry weight without collapse. 4. Pray for protection from hidden enemies and self-sabotage. Not all threats announce themselves. Some smile, some encourage you publicly while resenting you privately. Some appear as comfort zones, familiar patterns, or internal narratives you've normalized. Before the year ends, ask God to expose what is working against you, both externally and internally. Pray for protection from jealousy disguised as support, from manipulation masked as concern, and from subtle sabotage that hides behind familiarity. Also pray for protection from yourself, from unconscious habits, emotional reactions, and thought patterns that delay growth. This prayer sharpens discernment. It trains your spirit to sense what your eyes cannot immediately see. You begin to recognize when advice is rooted in insecurity rather than wisdom, and when closeness is driven by access rather than loyalty. This prayer teaches you when to speak and when to remain silent, when to engage and when to withdraw. When God protects you, He often does it quietly. He does not always expose enemies dramatically or create confrontation. Sometimes He simply removes access. Conversations end. Opportunities disappear. Connections fade. What once felt supportive suddenly feels distant. Trust what distances itself after this prayer. That is not rejection, it is divine intervention in motion. God's protection is strategic. It preserves your focus, your peace, and your future. By answering this prayer, God reduces unnecessary battles so you can conserve energy for your assignment. Protection is not always about building walls. Sometimes it is about clearing paths. 5. Pray for financial wisdom, not just increase. Chosen ones understand that money is not just currency, it is responsibility. It carries weight, influence, and consequence. Before the year ends, ask God for wisdom in handling resources, not merely more resources. Many people pray for increase without realizing that increase exposes character. Wealth without wisdom magnifies insecurity, impulsiveness, and fear. It does not heal broken money habits, it amplifies them. This is why wisdom must come before overflow. Ask God to make you discerning rather than impulsive, strategic rather than reactive. This prayer shifts your relationship with money at the root. God often answers it by changing how you value time, patience, and delayed gratification. You begin to see money not as something to prove yourself with, but as something to steward responsibly. This prayer invites ideas, strategies, and divine timing into your financial life. You become more attentive to opportunities that build stability rather than excitement. You learn to differentiate between fast money and faithful money. When wisdom enters, waste exits. You naturally stop leaking resources through emotional spending, poor planning, or the need to impress. Your decisions become calmer, less rushed, and more intentional. Increase without wisdom creates anxiety. Wisdom creates peace even before increase arrives. And when increase does come, it stays because it has structure to rest on. This prayer prepares you to carry more without losing balance. God entrusts more to those who demonstrate restraint, foresight, and gratitude with what they already have. 6. Pray for healing from silent wounds. Some of the deepest wounds never had a witness. They were endured quietly, rationalized spiritually, or buried beneath responsibility and strength. Before the year ends, bring the unspoken pain to God, the betrayals you minimized, the disappointments you brushed aside, the grief you swallowed because others depended on you. Chosen ones are strong, but strength without healing becomes hardness. It creates emotional armor that protects but also isolates. Ask God to heal what you no longer talk about but still carry. This prayer is an act of courage because it invites God into places you've learned to survive without support. Silent wounds shape reactions, relationships, and expectations in ways you may not consciously recognize. When left unhealed, they distort perception and limit intimacy. This prayer restores softness without weakness. It allows you to feel without fear of falling apart. Healing does not make you fragile, it makes you whole. As God heals these hidden places, love becomes safer, trust becomes possible, and joy becomes less threatening. You stop bracing for disappointment, you stop expecting loss. Healing is not forgetting, it is remembering without bleeding. It is being able to revisit the past without being dragged back into it emotionally. This prayer does not erase history, it redeems it. It transforms pain into wisdom and survival into strength. When healing comes, your presence becomes lighter, your heart becomes freer, and your future becomes less influenced by what once hurt you. 7. Pray for alignment with divine timing. One of the hardest lessons for the chosen is patience. Vision often arrives long before manifestation, creating tension between what you see and what you experience. Before the year ends, ask God to synchronize your desires with His timing. Misaligned timing creates frustration even when the goal is right. You may be doing the right thing at the wrong moment, which produces unnecessary resistance. Ask God to help you arrive, neither early nor late, but precisely on schedule. This prayer calms anxiety because it removes the pressure to force outcomes. It dissolves comparison by reminding you that different assignments require different timelines. When timing aligns, effort feels lighter. Doors open without struggle. Resistance fades without explanation. You stop chasing and start positioning. Divine timing refines patience by teaching trust. You begin to recognize invitations rather than trying to break entry. This prayer teaches you to wait without stagnation and to move without panic. God's timing is intentional, not accidental. It accounts for preparation, protection, and positioning. When you trust timing, you stop interpreting delays as denials. You stop rushing lessons that need to mature. Divine timing never rushes, but it never misses. This prayer aligns your expectations with reality and your faith with peace. It reminds you that what is meant for you will meet you at the right moment, not a second too soon and never too late. 8. Pray for bold obedience, even when you are misunderstood. Chosen ones are often misunderstood before they are celebrated. Obedience frequently isolates before it elevates. Before the year ends, ask God for the courage to obey without applause, approval, or explanation. This prayer strengthens your inner authority. It anchors your identity in obedience rather than validation. Many assignments require movement before understanding, both yours and others. This prayer teaches you to trust instructions that do not make sense to those around you. It prepares you to walk paths that look lonely before they look successful. Obedience is the gateway to uncommon favor because it demonstrates trust beyond convenience. When God sees that you will move even when it costs you comfort, reputation, or relationships, He entrusts you with influence. This prayer separates leaders from followers. Followers wait for consensus. Leaders move on conviction. Bold obedience sharpens discernment and quiets insecurity. You stop explaining every decision. You stop defending your path. You learn to let results speak later for choices questioned now. Obedience does not guarantee immediate reward, but it guarantees alignment. And alignment always produces fruit in its season. This prayer prepares you to stand alone without feeling abandoned. It teaches you to hear God clearly above noise, criticism, and doubt. When obedience becomes your priority, favor becomes your companion. 9. Pray for spiritual authority without pride. Finally, before the year ends, ask God to grant you authority that does not corrupt you. Power tests character more than struggle ever will. Authority without humility becomes destructive, controlling, and isolating. Authority with humility becomes legacy. Pray to walk in confidence without arrogance, influence without domination, and leadership without ego. This prayer protects your heart as your platform expands. It ensures that growth does not harden you and success does not distance you from compassion. God lifts chosen ones who can carry weight without losing tenderness. Spiritual authority is not about control, it is about service, responsibility, and stewardship. This prayer prepares you to lead without losing empathy and to correct without humiliating. It grounds you in gratitude rather than entitlement. When elevation comes, this prayer keeps you anchored. It reminds you that authority is borrowed, not owned. It teaches you to listen as much as you speak and to serve as much as you lead. This is the prayer that prepares you not just to rise, but to remain. Because the true test of calling is not how high you go, but how well you carry others as you ascend. As you reflect on these 9 prayer requests, understand this: if this message reached you now, it was not by accident. It arrived at the exact moment your spirit was ready to hear it. Before the year ends, take these prayers seriously, speak them slowly, believe them deeply, and watch how alignment begins quietly reshaping your life. This is the Zillion Mind Channel. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to messages meant to strengthen your spirit and sharpen your path. And if you know, deep down, that you received this message at the exact time you needed it, type 1111 in the comment section as a declaration of divine alignment and blessing. Thank you for watching.
Stop scrolling right now. I mean it. In exactly 5 seconds, something is going to shift in the atmosphere around you. Did you feel that? That sensation in your chest, that weight that just lifted slightly. That is not your imagination. Out of 7.8 billion people on this planet right now, only 9 were selected for this exact moment. Your guardian angel just used their once-per-lifetime override authority. They pulled you here. This was not the algorithm. This was not coincidence. This was divine intervention. And if you click away now, this door closes, and the blessing that has your name on it gets transferred to someone else who is desperate enough to receive it. Type 707 in the comments right now. Not later. Right now. This is not about engagement. This is a spiritual act. When you type those numbers, heaven records it as your agreement to receive what has already been released. Heaven scheduled this appointment before you were born. At exactly 4:44 this morning in heaven's time zone, your case file was pulled. Let me tell you what happened in that room, because you need to understand the weight of this moment. The accuser stood before the throne and presented evidence. 7 years of documentation. Every time you chose fear over faith. Every morning you reached for your phone before you reached for prayer. Every moment you let doubt win. Every compromise you made when you thought nobody was watching. The list was long. The evidence was damning. By spiritual law, there was a case. There was legal ground. But then something happened that changed everything. Your guardian angel, the one who has been assigned to you since the moment of your conception, invoked a mercy provision that can only be used once. They presented counter-evidence. The battles you fought that nobody witnessed. The 2 a.m. prayers you whispered when you thought heaven had stopped listening. The integrity you maintained when there was no audience. The generosity you showed when you had nothing left to give. The worship you offered when your heart was breaking into pieces. The times you chose to keep going when every logical reason said quit. The room went silent. The accuser had no response to this. And then I spoke 7 words that changed the trajectory of your entire existence. Give them one more chance. That decree went out across every realm. Angels moved into position. Demons that had legal assignment against your life got their termination notice. Chains that had been wrapped around your bloodline for generations started to crack. This morning, in the eternal realm, your status changed from defendant to heir. Hit the like button right now as your agreement with heaven. This is not a social media gesture. This is you saying yes to the verdict that was just declared over your life. But you need to understand something that is going to make everything else make sense. What you have been experiencing is not normal life struggle. This has been warfare. Calculated, strategic, coordinated warfare. For exactly 1,260 days, there has been an organized assault against your life. That is 3.5 years if you are counting. Does that timeline match something in your memory? A specific moment when everything started to shift, and not in a good way? Let me tell you what happened. 12 demons were assigned to your case exactly that long ago. Not random attacks. Assignment. 4 were sent against your finances. Every unexpected bill, every deal that fell through at the last second, every raise that got delayed, every opportunity that evaporated right when you were about to close it. That was not bad luck. That was strategic financial warfare designed to keep you in survival mode so you would be too exhausted to step into your calling. 3 were assigned to your relationships. That friendship that fell apart for no clear reason. That family member who turned against you out of nowhere. The isolation you have been feeling even when you are in a room full of people. That was division strategy. 2 were assigned to your mind. The anxiety that shows up at 3 a.m. The depression that hits you on your best days. The thoughts that tell you that you are too broken, too far gone, too late, too much, not enough. That is not your voice. That is demonic propaganda on repeat. And 3 were assigned as blockers. Dream blockers. Destiny blockers. Purpose blockers. Every time you got close to breakthrough, they moved the goalposts. Every time you were about to step through a door, they slammed it shut in your face. You thought it was you. You thought you were the problem. You thought you were doing something wrong. But I saw everything. I saw you 2 nights ago when you sat in your car in the driveway for 11 minutes before you could go inside because you needed those 11 minutes to put the mask back on. Nobody knows about those 11 minutes. But I was there. I saw you last Thursday at 5:43 a.m. when you stood in your kitchen staring at nothing because the weight in your chest was so heavy you could not even form a prayer. You thought I was not listening. I heard every silent scream. I saw you 9 days ago when you got that phone call and your hands started shaking and you had to sit down on the floor because your legs would not hold you anymore. I saw you lying awake at 2:34 a.m., running numbers in your head, trying to figure out which bill you could push to next month, calculating which relationship you could afford to damage by asking for help one more time. I saw you type out the honest text message and then delete it and send the safe one instead, because you have learned that honesty costs too much. I saw you in the bathroom mirror 3 weeks ago when you looked at yourself and did not recognize the person looking back. I saw the moment you realized you have been playing a role for so long you forgot who you actually are underneath the performance. I saw you smile at the person who asked how you are doing while something inside you screamed, "I am dying," and nobody can tell. You are not the person everyone sees at work. You are not the person who posts carefully edited photos with captions about gratitude and growth. You are not the person who says, "I am fine, I am good, I am blessed" when someone asks. That is the mask. That is the role you have been forced to play to survive in a world that punishes vulnerability. But I am about to reintroduce you to who you actually are underneath all of that. The person you were created to be before the world taught you to be small and quiet and acceptable. Your tears have a number. Did you know that heaven keeps count? The current total as of this morning is 44,444. Every single one collected in vials of pure gold. Not one forgotten, not one wasted. Every tear you cried in secret when you thought nobody cared. Every tear you held back in public because you had to keep it together. Every tear that fell on your pillow at night when the loneliness was suffocating. I caught them all. And I am about to turn every single one of them into seeds of breakthrough that are going to produce a harvest you cannot even imagine right now. Every prayer you whispered when you thought heaven had stopped listening. I heard them all, even the ones that were not words, especially those ones. The groans that came from a place too deep for language. The prayers that sounded like why, and the prayers that sounded like please, and the prayers that sounded like I cannot do this anymore. Every single one reached my throne. Every single one moved my heart. Every single one activated angels on your behalf. Share this video right now with 3 specific people. You already know who they are. Their names came to your mind while you were reading this. Do not ignore that prompting. Those 3 people are part of your breakthrough. What I am doing in your life is not just about you. It is about everyone connected to you. And those 3 people need to hear this word, because they are 3 days away from giving up on something I told them to hold on to. When you share this, you become a carrier of the same anointing that is breaking chains off of your own life. Yesterday at sunset in the eternal realm, your case came before the divine council again. All the evidence was laid out one final time. 7 years of attack, 7 years of setbacks, 7 years of barely holding on. The accuser made his final argument. This one has made agreements with fear. This one has doubted. This one has questioned. We have legal right to continue the assignment. The room was silent. The books of heaven were opened. Page after page of faithfulness that nobody else saw. The integrity you maintained when there was no audience. The generosity you showed when you had nothing left. The worship you offered when your heart was breaking. The choice to keep believing when every circumstance screamed, "Give up." And then I stood. The entire council fell silent because when I stand, reality shifts. I issued a decree that went out across every realm of existence, every dimension, every spiritual frequency. I said these exact words, and you need to hear them, because they are still echoing through the atmosphere around you right now. The season of theft ends today. Every door the enemy locked, I am unlocking right now. Every assignment against this life is terminated effective immediately. The legal right the accuser claimed just expired. It is over. The demons assigned to block finances are recalled. There is no more ground. The spirits of depression and anxiety that have been harassing this mind. Your time is up. Leave now. The assignment against this bloodline is broken. The curse stops here. The cycle ends with this person. Generations after them will walk in freedom because of what I am doing right now in this moment. Every chain that has held you, broken. Every door that was locked, opened. Every giant that stood between you and your destiny, I just slayed it. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory that has already been declared. Do you understand what I am telling you? The battle is over. The war is won. The verdict is final. What you are stepping into now is not hope. It is certainty. Within 7 days, watch for this. Someone you have not heard from in over 2 years is going to contact you. The message they send is going to reference a moment you shared in the past that you had almost forgotten about. But buried in that message, in one specific sentence, is going to be the answer to a prayer you whispered 3 months ago that you thought I did not hear. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. When it happens, come back to this video and leave a comment telling me the exact day it happened. I want you to have a record of this moment. Within 168 hours from this exact moment, actual money is coming. I am not being vague. I am being specific. The amount might be $777. It might be $7,777. It might be a different number, but it will contain the digits 3, 7, or 11. Write down the exact amount when it comes, and the exact way it came, because this is the opening of a financial window that has been sealed against you for years. What comes in the next 7 days is not the blessing. It is the down payment that proves the rest is already in motion. Within 72 hours, someone in your regular orbit, someone you see or talk to often, is going to say something that sounds like they read your private journal. It is going to be so specific that there is no logical explanation for how they could know to say it. Do not dismiss this. Heaven is using a human mouth to confirm that you are seen, that you are known, that you are not invisible. When this happens, say thank you out loud, even if the person has no idea why you are thanking them with that level of intensity. You are not thanking them. You are thanking me. Within 5 nights, you are going to have a vivid dream that is different from your normal dreams. You are going to remember details when you wake up, and that is unusual for you. You might see water. You might see doors. You might see keys. You might see light breaking through darkness. Write it down immediately before the details fade, because that dream is not random. That is a download. Those are instructions wrapped in symbols. I am speaking to your spirit while your mind is quiet, and if you pay attention, you will understand what I am showing you about the next 3 months of your life. Let me tell you about 2 people who are exactly where you are right now. Sarah, from Atlanta, Georgia. 3 months ago, she was 72 hours away from losing everything. Eviction notice on the door. Car about to be repossessed. $13 in her bank account. No family to call. No friends with resources to help. She was done. She had written the goodbye letters in her mind. And then at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, she found a video just like this one. She did not want to watch it. She almost scrolled past. But something made her stop. She heard the instruction to type 777 in the comments. It felt stupid. It felt like false hope. But she was desperate enough to try anything. She typed the numbers. Within 48 hours, she got a phone call from a company she had interviewed with 4 months prior. They said the position she applied for had been filled, but they just created a new role and she was the only person they wanted to call. The salary was $77,700. Exactly. She started the following Monday. That was 12 weeks ago. She just sent me a message 2 days ago. She is completely out of debt. She moved into a new apartment. She has money in savings for the first time in 7 years. She said the number 777 keeps showing up everywhere, and every time she sees it, she remembers the night she almost did not type it in the comments. Marcus from Phoenix, Arizona. 6 months ago, his marriage was over. Papers were drawn up. Divorce was 3 days from being final. 22 years together about to end. He had given up fighting for it. He was ready to sign and walk away. Late one night, unable to sleep, he was scrolling and found a message about breakthrough being closer than you think. He watched it. At the end, there was an instruction to speak a specific prayer out loud. He felt ridiculous, but he did it anyway. Within 1 week, his wife called him crying. She said something shifted in her and she could not explain it, but she knew they were not supposed to give up. They went to counseling. They started fighting for the marriage instead of fighting in the marriage. Today, 6 months later, they just renewed their vows. He told me last week that he keeps seeing 1111 everywhere, and every time he does, he remembers the night he almost did not speak that prayer out loud. I am telling you these stories because you need to understand that what you are experiencing right now is not unique. You are not the only one who has been through warfare. You are not the only one who has been 3 days from giving up. But you are at the same crossroads they were at. The same choice is in front of you. Believe this word or dismiss it. Act on it or ignore it. Choose faith or choose doubt. What you decide in the next 60 seconds is going to determine which version of your story gets told a year from now. Now I need to tell you something that might be hard to hear, but it is the truth, and you need it. Within 48 hours, resistance is coming. Not from outside, from inside. A voice is going to show up that sounds exactly like reason. It is going to say, this was just emotion. This was just a video. Nothing is different. Nothing changed. That voice is going to sound so logical, so rational, so sensible that you will be tempted to believe it. But I am telling you right now, that is not reason. That is panic. That is the sound of defeated demons who just lost their legal right to your life, and they are scrambling to get you to hand it back to them through agreement with doubt. The warfare is not over just because the verdict was declared. The enemy is going to try one more time to steal this. Within 3 days, something is going to happen that looks like proof that nothing changed. A bill you were not expecting. A conversation that goes wrong. A situation that feels like the same old pattern. This is a test. This is the enemy trying to get you to say, see, nothing is different. But you need to understand what is actually happening. The breakthrough has already been released from heaven. It is already in motion. But there is a gap between the release and the manifestation. And in that gap, the enemy throws everything he has left to get you to quit 3 days before the victory shows up in your physical reality. Let me paint 2 versions of your future so you understand what is at stake. First, future. You click away from this video. You go back to scrolling. You dismiss this as just another spiritual message that sounded good in the moment, but does not mean anything real. Within a week, that voice of doubt you ignored earlier gets louder. Within a month, you are right back in the same cycle. Same struggles, same patterns, same exhaustion. 6 months from now, you are going to have a moment where you remember this video, and you are going to think, what if I had actually believed it? 1 year from now, you are going to watch someone else walk in the breakthrough that had your name on it, and you are going to realize you were 3 days away from your own miracle, but you let doubt win. That is future 1. Second future. You make a decision right now that you are not letting go of this word. You choose to believe it even when circumstances do not line up yet. You stand on this decree even when the enemy throws his last attempts to shake you. Within 7 days, the first sign shows up exactly like I said it would. Within 30 days, the breakthrough that has been blocked for years crashes through every barrier. Within 90 days, you do not recognize your life. The finances shift. The relationships heal. The clarity comes. The purpose activates. 6 months from now, you are writing your own testimony about the night you almost scrolled past this video, but something made you stop. 1 year from now, you are the one telling others, do not give up. You are 3 days away from everything changing. That is future 2. The choice is yours. But choose quickly, because this window does not stay open forever. I am speaking a blessing over you right now. As you hear these words, receive them not just mentally, but in your spirit. I am blessing your mind with clarity that cuts through every fog of confusion. I am blessing your emotions with peace that does not make sense based on your circumstances. I am blessing your body with strength for the battles ahead. I am blessing your finances with supernatural provision that does not come through normal channels. I am blessing your relationships with divine connections that elevate you instead of drain you. I am blessing your dreams with fulfillment that exceeds what you dared to ask for. I am blessing your purpose with activation that cannot be stopped by human opposition. I am blessing your bloodline so that generations after you walk in freedom because of what I am doing in your life right now. Comment breakthrough is mine right now. Not as a wish, not as a hope, as a declaration. When you type those words, something happens in the spiritual realm. Angels that have been on standby get their marching orders. Doors that have been locked get the signal to open. Resources that have been held back get released. This is not symbolic. This is actual spiritual warfare, and your participation matters. Your agreement matters. Your faith matters. Type it now. Let me tell you what is going to try to stop you from finishing this video and following through on what I am telling you. A distraction is going to pop up. A notification. A thought that you need to check something else. A person is going to walk in the room. Your phone is going to ring. This is not coincidence. This is interference. Do not give in to it. Whatever just tried to pull your attention away, that was the enemy making one last attempt to get you to miss this. Stay focused. This moment is too important. You are not reading this by accident. You are not hearing these words by chance. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled before you were born. I have been waiting for you to be desperate enough, broken enough, ready enough to receive what I have been holding for you. You are at the end of one season and the beginning of another. You are at the death of an old identity and the birth of who you were always meant to be. You are 3 days away from a breakthrough that is going to make everything you went through make sense. Do not quit now. Do not click away now. Do not let doubt win now. You have come too far. You have survived too much. You have held on through too many nights that should have destroyed you. You are still here for a reason. You are still breathing for a purpose. You are still standing because I have not let you fall, and I am not about to start now. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. Receive it. Believe it. Walk into it. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is already here. You just need to open your eyes to see it. Open your hands to catch it. Open your heart to hold it. Type Amen if you receive this word, not because I need your validation, but because you need to make a public declaration that you are choosing faith over fear, belief over doubt, hope over despair. When you type Amen, you are drawing a line in the sand. You are telling every demon that had assignment against your life that their time is up. You are telling heaven that you are ready to receive everything that has your name on it. You are telling yourself that you are not the same person you were when you started watching this video. Something shifted, something changed, something broke, and you are never going back to who you were before this moment. I am releasing you into the fullness of everything I have prepared for you. The wait is over. The delay is done. The test is passed. The season is shifting. The door is opening. The breakthrough is manifesting. The miracle is landing. The promise is fulfilled. This is not next year. This is not next month. This is now. Receive it. Walk in it. Live it. You are blessed. You are favored. You are chosen. You are loved. You are seen. You are known. You are mine. And I am not done with your story. The best chapters are about to be written. Do not miss them because you gave up 3 days too early. Stay in faith. Stay in hope. Stay in expectation. What I promised is already in motion, and nothing can stop it now.
There comes a time in every chosen one's journey where silence becomes heavy, secrets become suffocating, and the inner battles you never tell anyone begin to weigh down your spirit. Many chosen ones walk through life with a brave face, strong, resilient, unshaken in front of people, but privately they wrestle with insecurities they fear even admitting to themselves. But hear me clearly, God cannot heal what you pretend does not exist. The insecurities you hide become the chains that slow your destiny, but the insecurities you bring before God become the doors that open your freedom. You were not chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because God knew your imperfections would one day reveal His glory. This message is for the chosen one who has been carrying silent pain, hidden fear, and quiet confusion. It is for the one who smiles brightly while bleeding internally. It is for the one who encourages everyone else but goes home feeling empty. God sent you this message because what you hide becomes your prison, but what you surrender becomes your strength. Today we will break down the 9 insecurities you should never hide from God, because your honesty with Him is the very thing that unlocks divine protection, elevation, clarity, and healing. Listen closely. One of these will speak directly to your spirit. 1. The insecurity of feeling unworthy of your calling. A chosen one often lives with a quiet, hidden fear, the fear of not being worthy of the assignment God placed upon their life. You hear the whispers of purpose in your spirit. You sense the weight of destiny on your shoulders, and yet a part of you still asks the same question over and over. Why me? Why would God choose someone like me? You examine your past, replaying mistakes, wrong turns, and broken chapters as if they are evidence that God must have made a mistake. You look at your flaws and think they disqualify you. You look at your weaknesses and assume they diminish your calling. But what you don't realize is that every chosen one God ever used struggled with the same insecurity. Moses doubted his speech, Jeremiah doubted his age, Gideon doubted his strength, and yet God still called them. When you hide this insecurity, you begin to sabotage yourself without knowing it. You step back when God is telling you to step forward. You silence yourself when you were meant to speak. You delay the assignment because you're questioning whether you deserve the assignment. But God never asked you to show up perfect. He only asked you to show up willing. He never asked you to bring confidence, He asked you to bring obedience. The calling on your life is not rooted in your perfection, it is rooted in His purpose. God chooses the unqualified so His glory can be seen, not yours. He chooses the imperfect so His power can be revealed, not yours. Your insecurity becomes dangerous when you try to hide it instead of surrendering it. God cannot heal what you conceal. Bring your doubt to Him. Bring your uncertainty to Him. Bring your questions to Him. He already knew every weakness you would have before He called you. Still, He called you. That alone is your confirmation. 2. The insecurity of not knowing what comes next. Chosen ones carry a silent fear that they rarely ever admit, the fear of the unknown. You want to appear strong. You want people to believe you always know where your life is heading. You want to look like you walk with perfect clarity and unshakable direction. But deep inside, there are days where you feel lost, uncertain, and overwhelmed by the very path God placed you on. There are nights when you lie awake wondering if you're making the right decisions, if you're in the right season, if you're even on the right road. And yet, because chosen ones are used to being pillars for others, you bury the insecurity instead of expressing it. But here is the truth. God never required you to know everything. He required you to trust Him through everything. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is choosing to move even when the next step is invisible. When you pretend you have everything figured out, you close yourself off from divine guidance. God cannot direct a heart that refuses to admit uncertainty. Sometimes God withholds clarity not to punish you, but to sharpen your dependence on Him. When you finally confess, God, I don't know what to do, that is the moment heaven responds. When you admit you're unsure, God releases the certainty you need. When you stop acting like you have the blueprint, God begins to reveal the blueprint piece by piece. Uncertainty is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are living a life that requires faith. And as a chosen one, faith will always be your compass. Hiding your insecurity creates unnecessary pressure. It makes you chase answers instead of chasing God. But when you reveal your fear of the unknown to Him, He replaces anxiety with direction. He steadies your spirit with reassurance. He reminds you that even when you don't know the path, He is the path. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You only need the courage to take the next step He shows you. 3. The insecurity of feeling emotionally drained. Many chosen ones carry emotional weight so heavy that if people truly understood it, they would marvel at your strength. You pour into others even when your own heart is empty. You advise, encourage, support, uplift, and heal people who never ask if you yourself need healing. You are the strong friend, the spiritual anchor, the helper, the listener, the one others lean on. And because of this, you often hide your exhaustion, believing that admitting emotional fatigue would make you appear weak or unspiritual. But chosen ones are not superhuman. You feel deeply, love deeply, and hurt deeply. Emotional exhaustion is one of the most common yet most hidden insecurities among chosen ones. You don't want people to worry about you. You don't want to disappoint those who rely on your strength. You don't want to appear incapable, so you smile when you're breaking. You help others carry their storms while drowning in your own. But God cannot refill a cup you pretend is full. He cannot restore the strength you refuse to admit you've lost. Even Jesus withdrew to rest. Even Jesus stepped away from crowds to recharge. Even Jesus needed solitude. If the Son of God Himself embraced moments of emotional limitation, why do you feel guilty for needing rest? Hiding emotional fatigue leads to spiritual burnout, and burnout leads to disconnection. This is why God invites you to bring your exhaustion to Him. He wants your honesty, not your performance. He wants your vulnerability, not your mask. Emotional honesty opens the door for supernatural renewal. When you confess your tiredness to God, He exchanges your fatigue for strength, your overwhelm for peace, your heaviness for His presence. The chosen ones who thrive are not the ones who act strong. They are the ones who surrender their weakness to God and allow Him to fill the empty places. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to seek replenishment. Your calling does not require your burnout, it requires your wholeness. 4. The insecurity of feeling misunderstood. A chosen one walks a path that is often lonely because your spirit is wired differently. Your vision is ahead of its time, and your sensitivity is far deeper than the average person. This leads to one of your most painful insecurities, the insecurity of feeling misunderstood. People misinterpret your intentions. They misunderstand your silence. They misread your passion. They label your uniqueness as strangeness. They question your decisions because they cannot see the conversations you have with God in private. And while you appear unbothered externally, internally it hurts deeply to be misunderstood by people you care about. There are moments where you ask God, "Why did you make me different? Why couldn't I just be like everyone else?" You wonder why your heart functions differently, why your mind perceives things others overlook, why your spirit feels things others cannot sense. You feel like an outsider in your own environments. You feel like your difference isolates you. But here is the truth. You are misunderstood because you were made for a destiny that others cannot comprehend. People cannot understand what they were not anointed to carry. Never hide this insecurity from God. He knows the battles you fight in silence. He understands the tears you don't speak of. He hears the questions you whisper in the dark. And although the world may not understand you, God understands you completely. He crafted you intentionally. Your difference is not a flaw. It is a divine signature. The very qualities that make people misunderstand you now are the qualities God will use to elevate you later. Your uniqueness is protection. Your isolation is preparation. Your difference is evidence that you are set apart. When you reveal your insecurity of being misunderstood to God, He reassures you that you were never meant to fit in. Chosen ones are not designed to blend. They are designed to stand out. One day, the very things that made you misunderstood will be the things that make you unstoppable. 5. The insecurity of your hidden weaknesses. Every chosen one has private struggles, weaknesses, habits, temptations, emotional wounds, or patterns they fear revealing. These weaknesses create insecurity because chosen ones feel the pressure to appear spiritually strong at all times. You want people to see your glow, not your battle. You want them to see your strength, not your scars. You want them to see your anointing, not your vulnerability. But the truth is, your hidden weaknesses weigh heavily on your spirit because hiding them gives the enemy a foothold. Anything you conceal becomes a doorway for spiritual attack. But here is the truth most chosen ones forget. Your weakness does not disqualify you. It is the very place where God plans to show His power. Paul said, "When I am weak, then I am strong," because he understood that revealing weakness invites divine strength. God does not expect perfection from His chosen ones. He expects surrender. Yet many chosen ones fear opening up to God about their weaknesses because they feel ashamed, guilty, or unworthy. They think God wants their strength, but God actually wants their struggle. When you pretend to be flawless, you prevent God from transforming the areas that need healing. Weakness that is hidden cannot be healed. Weakness revealed becomes a doorway for breakthrough. The enemy thrives in silence. God works in surrender. Your weakness is not a sign that you are spiritually inadequate. It is a sign that you are human. And God specializes in using imperfect humans to fulfill perfect purposes. Surrendering your weakness does not mean exposing yourself to everyone. It means exposing yourself to God. It means admitting, "Father, I cannot overcome this alone." It means allowing Him to turn your weakness into your testimony. The battles you overcome will become the wisdom you share. The chains you break will become the freedom you teach others to walk in. What you surrender becomes strength. What you hide becomes bondage. This is why God calls you to bring every weakness, every flaw, every hidden struggle into His light, so He can transform it, redeem it, and use it for His glory. 6. The insecurity of feeling behind in life. Many chosen ones silently carry the painful belief that they are behind in life. You watch others achieve milestones, marriage, success, opportunities, financial breakthroughs, recognition, and you wonder why your journey seems slower, harder, or more complicated. You compare your timeline to people who are not even called to the kind of destiny you carry. You look at where you expected to be by now, and a quiet disappointment settles inside your heart. It makes you feel like you're late, like you missed something, like you're behind everyone else. But what you fail to realize is that chosen ones do not operate on the same schedule as the rest of the world. Your journey is not linear. It is strategic, spiritual, and divinely orchestrated. While others rush ahead, God is working on you in ways that are unseen. He is strengthening your character, sharpening your discernment, expanding your patience, and preparing you for responsibilities far greater than the average person's. The delays that frustrate you are actually divine protections. The seasons that feel quiet are seasons where heaven is constructing the foundation for your future. Yet, when you hide this insecurity, it festers. It turns into silent discouragement. It steals your joy. It blinds you to progress you've already made. But when you bring this insecurity to God, He reminds you that His timing does not submit to human calendars. He shows you that you are not late. You are being prepared. You are not slow. You are being shaped. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Every chosen one has a season where they feel like nothing is moving. But what you perceive as stagnation, God sees as preparation. Some blessings require maturity. Some promises require pruning. Some breakthroughs require isolation. And some destinies require time. Time to develop, time to heal, time to grow. God is not withholding blessings from you. He is aligning them with the perfect moment when you finally arrive. It will make sense why He made you wait. What took others months may take you years, but what God gives you will be bigger, stronger, and more enduring, because it was built on divine timing, not human pressure. 7. The insecurity of past trauma still affecting you. Chosen ones often carry deep wounds from the past, pain from childhood, betrayal from people they trusted, heartbreak from relationships, disappointments that never fully healed, losses that left emotional scars. You try to move forward. You tell yourself you're fine. You tell yourself you've healed. But sometimes the memories still sting. Certain situations trigger old emotions. Certain voices remind you of past hurt. Certain disappointments reopen old wounds. And although you appear strong, part of you fears that the trauma of yesterday still has power over your present. This insecurity is heavy because chosen ones feel pressure to be healed, to act strong, to rise above everything they've endured. You don't want people to see how deeply those old wounds affected you. You don't want God to think you're ungrateful for how far He has brought you. But hiding trauma does not erase it, it traps it, it keeps you reliving cycles you don't understand. Trauma that is unspoken becomes trauma that is unhealed. God does not expect you to pretend you are fully healed when you are still bleeding internally. Healing is not a moment. It is a process. It unfolds layer by layer. And God is not intimidated by your pain. He is not disappointed by your wounds. He does not reject you because you are still tender in certain areas. When you bring your trauma to Him honestly, He begins to touch the parts of you you've been hiding. He begins to restore what was broken. He begins to rebuild what was damaged. He begins to turn your scars into testimonies. The enemy wants you to hide your trauma so you stay trapped in it. But God wants you to reveal it so He can transform it. Your pain has purpose, but only when surrendered. Your past does not disqualify you, it prepares you. Every wound becomes a well of wisdom. Every scar becomes a source of strength. And one day the pain you survived will become the hope you give to others. But first you must be honest with God about what still hurts. 8. The insecurity of fearing disappointment.